Hidden behind the Inns of Court, this was once the stronghold of the Knights Templar, a quiet corner of London where their story still lingers in the stone. This is Temple Church. Inside the round, everything begins with the Templars. This space was built in the 12th century to echo the Church of the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem, the holiest place they knew and the heart of their world. The effigies lie in a circle because the building itself is a reflection of Jerusalem. These were the Templars' own dead, knights, nobles and patrons tied to the order, resting in the geometry of the Holy City. William Marshal chose to be buried here for that reason. He wasn't a Templar, but he was close to them, and he asked to take the Templar habit on his deathbed. His effigy lies beside that of his eldest son, one of the Magna Carta barons. 2 generations placed in the Templars' most sacred London space. The 3-legged posture you see on several figures became fashionable in the 13th century. It doesn't prove they were crusaders, but it belongs to the world the crusaders shaped, a world of pilgrimage, chivalry and the long shadow of Jerusalem. Some of the figures are anonymous now, their shields worn smooth, but they still lie in the Templar circle, in a church built to mirror that of the Holy Sepulchre. That's why this room feels different. It carries the atmosphere of a medieval order whose story never quite faded. The font sits quietly to one side, simple, older than much of the building around it, a reminder that this has always been a working church, as well as a historic one. Around the round, the stained glass brings in soft colour, blues, reds and golds that fall across the stone effigies. Some of these windows are Victorian, others are more modern, but they all add gentle glow to the first space shaped by the Templars. The light here changes constantly. It moves around the knights' faces, across the worn shields, across the purebeck marble. It softens the medieval weight in the room. And it reminds you that this church has been rebuilt, restored and reimagined across the centuries. Further along are the monuments to Richard Martin and Sir Edmund Plowden, 2 major legal figures of the 1600s. Martin presided over Middle Temple's Parliament and helped shape the legal culture that still surrounds this church. Plowden was one of the great legal minds of his age, a scholar whose writing influenced English law for generations. Their monuments stand here as a reminder that after the fall of the Templars, the lawyers of the Inns of Court became the next guardians of this place. These monuments mark that shift from a medieval military order to the legal profession that still defines this corner of London today. Walking into the nave, you leave the Templars round behind and step into the later medieval church, a quieter, more measured space, rebuilt inch by inch after the Blitz. The chancel draws everything forward. The reredos behind the altar was carved in the 1930s by Christopher Webb, oak, gilded and showing the Last Supper. The choir stalls and the organ case were designed by Sir Ninian Comper, giving the whole east end a soft, golden warmth. Even the altar cloth carries the Jerusalem cross, a small reminder that this whole building was born from the Templars' longing for Jerusalem. Above the altar, the east window brings in a deeper wash of colour. Designed by Caroline Benyon, it marks the 400th anniversary of the Charter of Caldwell's, modern glass set into a medieval frame. At certain times of the day, the whole east end seems to glow, as if the window is breathing colour onto the stone. It's a reminder that this church has never stopped evolving, from the Templars' Jerusalem-inspired round to the lawyer's chancel to the modern glass that crowns it today. Along the walls are quieter memorials to Theo Lake, Johannes Williams and those connected to the church who died in the Second World War. They're easy to miss on a first visit, but they add a human thread to a building better known for its medieval drama. Some of the tablets are simple, others more ornate, but each one marks a life that touched this place in some way. They're small pieces of personal history set into the same walls that once echoed with the footsteps of knights and the arguments of barristers. The organ is a 1906 Harrison & Harrison instrument, 3 manuals, 41 speaking stops and a beautifully carved case. Restored in 1980, it still fills the church with a warm, romantic sound. Temple Church is one of those places where the centuries sit right on top of each other. The Templars, the lawyers, the medieval knights, the Victorian craftsmen, the scars of the Blitz. And yet it's still a working church, still a quiet corner of the city, still a place where the past feels close enough to touch. Every part tells a different story. The round carries the memories of the Templars. The nave carries the weight of the lawyers who followed. The memorials hold a quieter lives that shape the church in ways the history books never could. It's one of those buildings that stays with you long after you've left it. A place where London's history isn't just preserved, it's still breathing. Thank you so much for watching The Pew Review, and I'll see you next time. Thanks everyone.